Good morning, I'm Madonna Guy from New Leaf Natural Therapies, and this is our Sinoux. This is our Sinoux. This morning we're doing a surrogate balance for someone in the US, and we're doing it because she's got the flu and she just can't quite get over it. So what we want to do is prime the immune system and make sure she's not going to kick back into a thyroid storm, which is what tends to happen when she gets unwell. And hold. Okay. So energetically, we're in our client's energy field, so now we're going to start working on the immune system. These are some core immune system points that aren't as functional as they should be. So we need to boost those. There's lots of things going on in the US with immunity at the moment. There's so many genetically modified foods, and even though I know that this client will be trying her best to eat very well, eat organically, eat non-genetically modified, sometimes there's not a lot you can do about it. And traveling always takes it out of people's immune systems. And hold. So they're nice and strong now, which means I can now check in relation to viruses and viral particles. And hold. Oh, that was trying, like there's a bit of energy in there. It's not a complete unlock, so the body's actually trying quite hard. It's only 3 out of 5 that unlocked, that's not too bad. But this side that unlocked the worst, this is to do with pathology for the immune system, which means something's in there creating damage, inflammation, oxidative stress. Viral and viral particles. And hold. Now I'll check bacteria and bacterial particles. So it's not showing up as being bacterial. Just for fun, let's check genetically modified viruses. Hold. Okay, so some research is showing that after we've been vaccinated, we're actually semi-contagious for the next month or so afterwards. This client has not had vaccinations, but it means that if you come in contact with someone who's been vaccinated, you can actually get the bug that they've been vaccinated for. That's what some research is showing. Not only that, but when you do get vaccinated, the mercury or aluminium in the base of the vaccines actually damages your white blood cell. So when you get that secondary infection after a vaccination, quite often it's because the vaccine has actually destroyed some of your white blood cells. Okay, so hold. This is GMO viruses. So that's genetically modified viruses, because what scientists do is genetically modify a bacteria or virus to put it into a vaccine. Okay, so now let's check in relation to the influenza virus. So let's check influenza A. Hold. Let's check influenza B. Hold. No. Okay, so let's just check any and all influenza viral strains. Hold. Okay, so even though it's showing up that the immune system isn't coping very well with viruses, it's not actually showing up as influenza. So what I might do is check these little glands in here, and we'll check for things like glandular fever, which is Epstein-Barr Virus. So in relation to the Epstein-Barr Virus, hold. Nope. Let's check enteroviruses. They're viruses that live in the gut. Hold. Okay, So the good thing is, see, we've done a lot of work with this particular client, so maybe all we really needed to do is get her body recognising the virus and the genetically modified virus, because they're the two things that have shown up so far. Let's just make sure there's no viral or bacterial particles stored in the biofilm, because if they get stuck in there, and we've worked a lot on this client's biofilm. So the biofilm is where viral and bacterial particles hide in order to stay in the body, and then they create low-level inflammation around the place, which isn't a great thing, because you can't actually find those infections when you do blood tests or urine tests, sputum tests or poop tests. So you end up quite missing out on a pathology report in a blood test that we can find with kinesiology. Okay, so now, because this particular client has had both Hashimoto's, underactive thyroid, as well as Graves' disease, overactive thyroid, I'm going to check the immune pathways in relation to the thyroid. So firstly, this is the muscle test for the thyroid. Hold back for me. And hold back for me. And no surprise, it's a little bit underactive. When the immune system's overworking, as a general rule, the body shuts down the thyroid because it's not important while you're fighting a bug. And hold back. And hold back. And you let me know if you feel any emotions or anything going on at the same time. So we've picked up the thyroid energy. Now I'm going to ask the body whether there's an optimal level of TSH in the system. Firstly, through the immune system. Hold, hold, hold. That's fine. Now through the thyroid, hold. So the thyroid's unlocking in relation to optimal levels of thyroxine, or TSH, the thyroid stimulating hormone, sorry. And thyroid energy is often about speaking out and speaking your truth and not speaking your mind when we're getting unwell. And again, in relation to optimal TSH, and hold, beautiful. Let's ask in relation to optimal T3 in the bloodstream. So T3 is the active thyroxine. So that's showing up quite fine. So the conversion from T4 to T3 is going okay. And also this lady does take activated T3. And once again, in relation to the thyroid active T3, that's fine. Hold. Okay, and any reverse T3 that might be messing with the thyroid. And hold. But the reverse T3 is showing up. So that's when the body is not converting T4 to T3 optimally, and some of it is turning toxic.
Emotion is sadness.
Okay, and there's sadness in underlying there with the emotion. And you can imagine throat energy. Anyone who's ever had sore throats and that sort of energy in your throat when you can't speak your mind, you can't speak your truth. There can be a lot of stuff going on in people's lives that affects the health of the body. Okay, reverse T3. Hold. 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 Okay. So basically what we would do then is go through a bunch of things like chlorine and fluoride. Maybe she's not getting enough purified water. Things like radiation from the aeroplane flights, because she's doing a lot of flights over the next month or so, and she has already for several weeks. So you'd make sure that the particular compounds or toxins that affect the thyroid are all being balanced so that you can keep on picking up the immune system. But what I might do for now is just see whether this has popped the body back into survival. So this is survival switching, that's fine. This is deep survival, that's fine. And this is hidden deep survival. So that one's showing up, which means the nervous system's overloaded and doesn't really want to think about anything else at the moment other than getting well. And with the sadness going on, the main energy in the organs of the body is large intestine energy, which is to do with grief, guilt, regrets, that sort of thing. So, large intestine energy, hold up. This is the fascia lata, not optimal. And I'll get you to hold on to the edges of the table, Sinoux. Hold the legs out nice and strong. No, hold out nice and strong. Right. So underneath all of that is large intestine energy, which in Chinese medicine relates to grief, guilt, regret. So now we'll go further into the survival switching. So this is a part of LEAP, Learning Enhancement Acupressure Program. So just scanning a little chart in my head. First little area showing up is the subclossal gyrus. It's an area, hold out, that stores genetic pathways with how to deal with rage, anger, but of course when we're angry we suppress that as depression. So when there's sadness, there's often anger at ourselves. Not always, but they can be. And this is a combination of emotions holding that in place. It's fear, threat, danger, as well as the pleasure reward centers not being activated. So you imagine you're on holidays, you get unwell, go, darn, what am I doing over here? And being sick. So reactivate her fun centers. Okay, so subclossal gyrus. And hold. No, there's still something else in there. Is it a different pathway of the subclossal gyrus? It is. So there's 4 major pathways, and this one's linked in with feeling broken and tameness, broken spirit, that sort of thing. So we're just holding these points until they pulse. So what we end up doing once we've got some immune system points online, then you can do a survival pattern in relation to that immune system stuff, and then you're sort of quenching the body's survival patterns, because anytime we're in survival it shuts down the immune system. So if you don't actually get some of this cleared at the same time you're doing some immune system work in kinesiology, the immune stuff will generally come back again. Subclossal gyrus. And again, hold, beautiful. And is there anything, yep, there's something else in that little survival pattern. The next little area showing up is a reticular activating system. And these are acupuncture points that let us into that part of the brain. So it's a combination of acupuncture points that lets us into different nuclei, different parts. What this is showing me is that this has activated her noradrenaline, because there's stress about getting unwell, and that of course doesn't help you get well. So the stress is creating vigilance in the nervous system. So we need to clear that. So we're going to keep on working away with this pattern for this client. Hopefully you've enjoyed that, and we'll see you soon.